Google is interfering in our election, and they're going to interfere more, giving a major swing from Trump to Joe Biden. This claim is not coming from a hardcore Republican Trump zealot waving a big old MAGA flag, firing two full auto machine guns. It's coming from a Clinton supporter, Dr. Robert Epstein, who's talked about this in the past, about how in the 2016 election, he believed Google did shift a very large number of votes from Trump to Clinton. And he's saying it's going to happen again. And he's saying, well, look, you're not going to be surprised by what he's saying. That's the first thing he's saying. From Breitbart, Dr. Robert Epstein, Google will shift 10% of voters to make Trump a blip in history. They say, Dr. Robert Epstein, the senior research psychologist at the American Institute for Behavioral Research and Technology, appeared on Breitbart News Daily alongside host and Breitbart News editor-in-chief Alex Marlow to discuss how Silicon Valley companies manipulate algorithms to suppress content. Discussing Google's efforts to suppress conservative content, Marlow states, none of this is going to come as a surprise to this audience, but I don't think a lot of people by and large understand exactly how much they can manipulate you. Google can, with just a slight tweak to search results or search suggestions of their algorithm. Everyone knows by the Breitbart leak of the Google TGIF meeting in 2016, right after the election, they said they wanted populism to be a blip in history. They wanted to basically use their power to make sure populism doesn't have long-term effects. What does that mean? Since then, Breitbart's reach has wildly diminished within Google. This cannot be a coincidence. I'm pretty sure Veritas confirmed it wasn't. I could be wrong about that. Dr. Epstein replied, I doubt that it's a coincidence because it's so easy for them to suppress content of any sort. I published a big article on this in 2016 called The New Censorship. I focused on 9 of Google's blacklists. This is without ever seeing one and without the company admitting they had such things. But last year, Zach Voorhees left the company, quit the company, and took with him 950 pages of documents and a video. And 2 of those documents were Google blacklists. Yes, I think that was Veritas. I don't know if they give him credit. Quote, people don't understand how big this threat is. You mentioned that leak. That video that you exposed, which is quite astonishing. One of the things that was said there by one of their top executives is, we're going to use actually, that may have been Breitbart. Sorry if I'm not giving credit to Breitbart. One of the things that was said by one of their top executives is, quote, we're going to use every means at our disposal, all of Google's power, to make sure Trump isn't reelected. So if they're using every single means at their disposal, then they're using all of the techniques that I've discovered and probably more that I haven't discovered yet. That's enough to shift roughly 10% of the voting population of the U.S. with no one knowing they're being manipulated and no paper trail for authorities to trace. Welcome to the new world. Google, Facebook, Twitter. The big tech companies know what they have. They know they can control you if they truly want to. And even the CEO of Reddit said, we can probably skew an election if we wanted to. Not that we would. This is why I've been saying over and over, Section 230 reform is so important, but alas, it is just not enough. Perhaps it will buy us more time and we can rebalance the conversation. Unfortunately, that would mean the Republicans and Trump must sweep. And not only that, you're also crossing your fingers they'll actually enact 230 reform, and maybe they won't. Earlier today, when I woke up, I noticed a tweet on my timeline. Now listen, my Twitter, who I follow, the followees, whatever the word is, not my followers, the people I follow. It is a specifically curated list of news organizations and journalists, many left, many right, some centrist, some rather boring, some kind of inactive. Well, today I noticed again for like the 18th time in the past several months, there was a name I didn't recognize. When I first noticed these things on Twitter, I felt like it was maybe someone changed their name or image and I didn't recognize them. And sure enough, I clicked the little blue check verified individual and I have no idea who this person is or what they're sharing. So I unfollow them. I went over to Social Blade. Social Blade is an analytics website that tracks basically every social media site. And I went to the metrics for my Twitter account. And sure enough, every few days, my account follows someone new. And it also unfollows some people. I have no idea who these people are or aren't, and I have no idea what they're doing to curate my following, who I follow. I believe it's very likely, maybe an accident, maybe not. But how many times have you heard from people, they unsubscribed me from you? Or on Twitter, they unfollowed me from you? Yeah. I noticed something really interesting today when it recommended Dr. Peter Boghossian to me, who I have been citing over and over again for the past month, who I certainly intentionally followed on Twitter and discovered recently for some reason I didn't. And for some reason, I was following someone I did not know. So I looked at Social Blade and sure enough, there it is. I don't know what's going on. Can't prove anything. All I can say is I know I didn't follow that person and I know I didn't unfollow that person. Another person I recently discovered that I was unfollowed from is Ron Coleman, who I believe, I don't want to get his title wrong, but he is a pro-Trump lawyer and very well versed on a lot of legal issues. That's why I follow him. Sure enough, on Twitter, I was no longer following him, and some legal issue came up, and I searched for him to see if he had a take on it, because he is a lawyer who handles these issues. And sure enough, I wasn't following him. I was like, oh, that's weird. I would have expected I follow a few lawyers for their legal takes on certain things. Wasn't following him. I think most of us have experienced something like this. I can't tell you what it is or why or what's going on, but I think a lot of people will take it to a conspiratorial place, quite nefarious. You know, we don't assume that it was an accident. These are the kinds of things that Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and any other platform could do to manipulate the game come November. And I believe it is happening. I believe it will happen. To what extent, I don't know. But as they mentioned in this Breitbart interview with Dr. Epstein, Epstein has already testified that Google can shift these votes. We've already seen the videos of Google saying they will do this. And sure enough, YouTube is making moves. They're banning people. Twitter is banning people. And dare I say, simply by having this conversation on this platform, which is YouTube, I run the risk of being banned. So, you know what? I don't know what to tell you about that. What am I supposed to do, right? You can go to timcast.com/donate if you want to support my work, but maybe it's coming. I want to explain something to you with this segment. You probably don't even realize how much they have already radicalized you. And we brought this up in the IRL podcast. I brought it up again, the Don Lemon segment from 2013, where he said Bill O'Reilly didn't go far enough. These social media platforms, we've watched them ban and remove people. Those conversations have been removed. You now don't even realize the conversations have stopped. They know what they are doing. That's why they ban them, and they tell us that's why they ban them. They say, discussions of this subject are not allowed. You're banned. Stefan Molyneux. Again, I always preface this. I did not watch the guy's content. I do not, I'm saying this specifically because I know people are going to be like, if I say I think what his content was, I don't know. I don't know what the guy is. I know that people have accused him of talking about certain things, but the point is he was hosting conversations and they banned him for it. And that's why. You may find his conversations to be abhorrent, or you think his opinions are bad or his facts are wrong. Fine. The conversation that he was having no longer exists. I run the risk of getting banned for simply saying that as well. Think about this, how this will translate. Facebook is considering banning political ads. Twitter has as well. If people are voting for Trump, but against for Trump or against Trump, and not for Biden, but against Trump, then there's it doesn't matter if Joe Biden has ads or not. Banning political ads will only impact Donald Trump. And this is what we get. We're watching this happen. We know it's happening. We know the manipulation is happening. And dare I say, there's other ways I think they're going to cheat. The reason why I'm doing this segment is partly to show you what Robert Epstein has said, Dr. Epstein has said, that they're going to swing 10% of the vote. But as sort of an addendum on my main channel segment from timcast.net, I put up at 4. I often do this. If you haven't seen it, I basically point out that there's a lot of reasons to suggest Trump is secretly winning. Now I'm going to be a little bit more pessimistic. Even if Trump really does have the polls, the media is lying, which I think they are, what's to stop them from just cheating? Propping up certain stories, pushing down certain stories. It's hard to know exactly what's going to happen. But I don't want to be completely pessimistic. While I think there is a major net negative with what these big tech companies are doing, Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire are like the biggest publishers on Facebook. So it's not like conservatives are down and out. It's not like moderates and the politically homeless are down and out. Although I do think it's funny that there's like a big umbrella of conservative, moderate, and center-left individual, and then you got leftists. But there's the content still reaches certain areas. As they pointed out, there's a blacklist. Google has it. We've seen it. Project Veritas has released this information. I just want to tell you right now that you need to pay attention to who you're following, what you watch, because the algorithms will manipulate your point of view. They'll change who you're following for better or for worse. I think YouTube likes me. I do. I really think they do. I think they want to use me as what they would view as acceptable conservative. I'm not particularly conservative, but I tell you this, man, the analogies can go, we can describe it any way we want. But if they ban everyone who's conservative and I, who's center left, am the only person left, then I become the furthest right person in the Overton window. That's what they're doing. You don't realize it now, but even if Trump wins, there's no guaranteeing that we can stop whatever it is these companies do. We need Section 230 reform. We probably need to break up big tech. Then China may fill that void, though. So we'll see how things play out. But I just want to stress the seriousness of the story. Dr. Robert Epstein, Google's going to make this shift so Trump loses. Keep that in mind and pay attention. But my next story coming up, TikTok, huh? Let's see what's going on with TikTok as people start to panic because they may get banned. And good riddance. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.